Tap in with me. Is your mic used for spoken word, music, comedy, or podcasts? Why don't you take a seat on my couch and share your craft? Focus on the future. Reminisce about the past. This segment pinpoints your journey to the top. So make your presence felt before the mic drops. Tap in with me. This is the Mic Drop with B. Anderson, and today we are sitting down with a special guest. If I understand correctly, this is your first interview, so I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and you got the floor.
This is Remedi, everyone. T Remedi is what my original name was, but then I dropped the T, and we are just Remedi going forward.
How did you get the name Remedi?
Okay, so funny thing, I was doing some stuff on Facebook, and I was like, everybody was like, man, you always got the remedy, like you always got the answer. And so I was like, I like that remedy. And then I didn't like remedy in the sense of medicine. Mm-hmm. So I dropped the Y and put an I. And so there you go. That's how you got remedy. Because I'm the remedy to everything.
I love it. What initially made you want to be a writer?
Oh, wow. I've been writing for years. It started in my single digits. I used to write a journal. Mm-hmm. Over and over. I wrote in my journal that I didn't like people and that I like animals only. And so that was a funny chuckle with my parents. Mm-hmm. But in my journaling, I had wrote that I was going to own tigers. Mm-hmm. Their names were going to be Tika and Teka. Okay. And I started writing poetry at the age of 16. I was in high school and coming off of being bullied, so kind of traumatic. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna write about it. So I started writing about bullying and just my emotions, being at that time thinking I was in love as a teenager, so writing love. And I always hid my poetry book. I was starting a poetry book then at 16, and I always hid it in the classroom in my English class. And every poem I wrote, I would go back and add to this book because I was going to compile them and put them all together. Well, one day I went to look for that folder with all my poems in it. And at that point, I think I was up to about 15 poems, and it was gone. Somebody stole it. That killed my writing career completely. I didn't write anything else. I didn't write a journal. I didn't write a poem. I didn't write anything else until I got into a serious relationship in my 20s. And the way of me getting through it, I started journaling. And I journaled everything. I journaled how I felt. I journaled the pain, the every up and down. And I still didn't write poetry, though. I didn't come back to poetry yet. I was just writing my thoughts. Mm-hmm. And I was 29 years old the very first time I wrote another poem from 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you use poetry to deal with your traumas?
So, I didn't even process that I was going through trauma when it was happening. I kind of just let it come and go. When I started writing about my anger, that's when I noticed that I was having a traumatic experience. Like, something is wrong is why I'm so angry on paper. Like, I'm writing, but you would think that I was writing like trying to like get out everything at one point, like every emotion, angry, mad, sad. Even if it got violent, I wrote about it. Like it was that serious. And when I said I started back writing at 29, how I came to that moment, I had got depressed. I was going through a situation with children's services, and they had wrongfully took my children. And when that happened, it put me in a dark place. So dark of a place that no friend, no family member, not even my children, nothing could take me out of this dark space. My husband at the time, he's like, honey, come on, we have to get through this. What can you do? And at this point, I'm like 5 days no showers, 5 days not eating, barely getting out of bed. I didn't care. I didn't want to be with life. These people were trying to make me out to be such a horrible person, and it wasn't even me who they came to the door for. So finally, I was like, you know what? When I was a teenager and I used to go through stuff, I used to write. And so he was like, write what? And I said, well, just anything. I would journal, or I started writing poetry until somebody stole my poetry book, and that's when I just stopped. And so he said, look, babe, I don't know, but something's telling me to tell you to write. And so I said, after all this time, 16 to 29, I started writing, and I kind of went crazy. Like I went crazy straight. 30 days straight, I wrote a poem every day. And maybe even 2 in a day. And so basically, I wrote my way out of the dark place. I wrote my way out of the depression, out of just weird anxiety attacks, even high blood pressure, like everything that was being plagued on me. You know, doctors instantly like, oh, take medicine, take this prescription for this. And I was like, no, I don't think that's the method, because I hadn't used that method in all the years. And so, yes, I followed my husband's response to go ahead and write, and that helped me.
It's so important, you know, especially to tell a story like that, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so it's very important. So many people in this world deal with it, and they may not even know. And so I commend you on finding poetry as your outlet.
Yes.
How do you feel like that has affected you today? Because some people may think, oh man, well, you know, I may not know what my outlet is. What does writing do for you?
Oh man, it's euphoric. Like it is, man, I guess you could put it up there with like the first time person drink of alcohol, or the first time they do something extracurricular for the first time. That type of level, like cloud 9, like all the way up. It's like an unleash. So when you get it out afterwards, you feel like you was able to dump, like the new term that everybody got going now, like, oh, I did a photo dump. It was like I did a emotional dump on paper. And once I realized that that was my outlet, I went back to it fully. I then started compiling. So 2016 was that year that I came out of not from writing, and when I was 16 to 2016, I started back writing. So in 2016, my very first time, I went to an open mic here in Cincinnati, the Greenwich, and I said I wasn't going to say anything, and then somehow by the end of it, I went ahead and did a poem. From 2016 to now 2022, I have compiled about 60 poems, which during unfortunate pandemic moment, we had to sit back for some time. So in that time of sitting back, I then wrote my poetry book, which is coming soon.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yes. And in that time, I also wrote a series of books about bullying. Because, like I said, that was a pivotal moment in my life where I kind of, to be honest, it's kind of sad to say, but I was bullied from kindergarten to 12th grade. So every year, it kind of started over with a different person, a different place, or a different school. I was always the new girl. We moved a lot. So being a new girl, that is a stress in itself because you have to relearn friends, relearn people. And every time I got picked with. So, and sitting down for the pandemic, mind you, bullying is a little different now because we have social media, we have these updated phones and smartphones, and back when it was going on, we didn't even have all that stuff.
Right.
But so I didn't speak just from old school and me telling the new stories of bullying. I spoke a little bit old school, but then also new school. I'm writing in stages. So I did kindergarten to third grade to sixth grade to ninth grade, and then ninth grade to 12th. So I broke it all up so that it's a series of bullying, and it's a compilation. So it'll come together like several different books, and then it'll look like several different people. So it's not just white people, black people, Asian, African. We all have experienced some type of bullying and disabled, and so I'm talking about everybody. Everybody's in there. The flip to it is that even though I'm telling you a story about bullying, I'm also going to bring the story around about how a virtue fixes the situation.
So when can we expect this?
That is coming later this year. So my poetry book is coming first. That will be released here before summer.
Okay.
The book is called Quiet Noise. It is a woman's walk from silent depression to out loud strength on paper.
What would you like people to take from this book? Quiet Noise, that is.
It's a few things. So the reason I chose the name Quiet Noise is because a lot of trauma and a lot of things that we experience it in our quietness, like while we're going through whatever we're going through. The situation might be very loud, but it puts us in a silent place. So when you think of fireworks is very loud, but if you capture a picture of fireworks, you know that it was loud, but it's silent.
Gotcha.
So my cover is of that. It is a burst of Cincinnati fireworks up over the Cincinnati sign, and it shows the fireworks. You know it's loud. You know that was a loud moment, but it's silent. So it's quiet noise.
So would you say that this book is meant for women who have gone through the same struggles as you?
Not even just women. Women, children, men, everything. Because in the book, I speak about so many different walks of life. I speak on things not fitting, and I'm talking about whether that be you are a child that receive hand-me-down clothes all the time. So the hand-me-downs might fit. It might be some stuff that actually work for you, but then in most cases you got that oversized shirt on and them oversized shoes, or the too little shoes and the too little, and so there's just times where stuff don't fit. So I got a poem that speaks about that. I have a poem that speaks about being a ghost. So what that could be. Here you were in the flesh, but in the event that you pass away, you become a ghost. But when you become a ghost, does the world stop because you became a ghost? No, the world doesn't stop. So what if your ghostly figure was still here in the present and still get to see how people interact without you being here? I'll talk about that. It's just different. You gotta see.
Well, would you like to share a poem with us?
You know what? I can. Give me just a second. Oh, and to fix something I said earlier, quiet noise is a raw poetry that took a woman from depressed silence to thunderous strengths on paper. So let me correct. That was
Gotcha.
how I say it. Let me see. Let me do something special for the drop the mic. All right. So this one is called From Your Point of View. Ha! Your success doesn't look good on me, and your size shoe surely doesn't fit me. What you drink, guess what? It doesn't make me pee. Through your rose-colored tinted glasses, sure as heck can't see. But then you pretend to ignore me. Minutes turned into days of countless nights that go by and we didn't speak. One day, I looked in the mirror and I didn't even recognize me. Caught myself crying with dried eyes that couldn't weep. So instead, into the pad my ink sinks. Don't be sad because you thought you knew the real me, depending on the angle and the lighting. Everyone sees me differently. Knowing that you view me negatively, sorry that you're missing out on such charisma and this personality. But hey, that's the way you view me. And that's that piece. Thank you.
What inspired that piece?
Well, funny enough, just I end up being a middle to a lot of stuff that's going on. So it might be that I'm friends with someone, but they fell out with someone that I know. Or I'm friends or family with someone and then something happened and I gave my input. As soon as I open my mouth, I end up in the doghouse immediately. They're like, oh, Teesa said, Remedi said, and I'm like, great. I probably shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
And so that piece came from someone saying something. And I was like, that's their point of view. And so from your point of view.
Gotcha. What advice would you give someone who, kind of went through some of the same struggles as you did and, having a hard time now? And with you being in that position and you being in that place to where you can offer someone advice, what would that be?
Honestly, everybody has to go through their situation. And for me, I would say don't run. Reason I say that is because not that I've been a runner, I've always just tried to move on to the next thing, even if this happened to me, that happened to me, or this happened. Even though I might still think about it or talk about it, because that's my therapy, is talking about it, I still just move on to the next thing. So I've always been oh, that happened, okay, well, let's go. And I found out that is still a form of running. That is still a coping mechanism and a comfort zone, is to just cloud it with a million things. If I'm busy and I'm working 5 jobs at one time, going to school, and my mind is all on that, and I can't put it to the negatives or put it to the trauma, and I block some things out because of that. But then you have those moments, and I tell people, you have to sit with your stuff. That's a better word to use. You have to sit with your stuff. If you don't sit with your stuff, you will be made to sit with your stuff. And so if I was to tell my younger self or anyone that's going through any trauma, sit in it, get through it, figure it out, don't run from it. If you run from it, it's still going to circle back to you some kind of way. Whether it circle back to you and you're driving and now you're having an anxiety attack in a car because it came at this moment and now you can't drive properly, or whether it comes to you in the shower and now it's so unbearable that you're crying and the water that is coming from the shower is also washing down years and moments and stuff that you blocked out, or it comes to you and you're a mom and you're supposed to be a mom to children, or you're a wife and you're supposed to be a wife to a husband, and you're all over the place. You didn't never deal with your trauma. So now that is spilling out on every other hat that you have to wear. You have to be a mom, you have to be a worker, you have to be a wife, you have to be all these different things, but you can't be them to your fullest because you still have all this other stuff that's behind or underlying that's spilling over all of that.
Hey, I love that piece of advice. I mean, I think that anyone who has gone through anything can relate to that. So, very relatable.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
And I had to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even just figure that out in the last, I literally just learned that in the last year. And I'm way more at peace in the last maybe 6 months than I've ever been in this whole 37 years, to be honest.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, let's switch gears
No
a little
problem.
bit, and let's talk about the fact that you are a business owner. You own 2 businesses, one being a janitorial.
3, but we
Oh, 3.
It's all right,
Okay,
it's all
okay.
right, it's all right.
Sorry. But I know that you have a janitorial business and a dessert business, and it's a family business. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about those.
So, I'm gonna go with the dessert because that happened first. 4 years ago, 2018, it was a silly moment, a joking moment. I had with my husband again. He made a pie for Thanksgiving the year prior, so 2017. And I was like, honey, so it's 2018, and I'm like, honey, I really think your pie could sell in stores. And didn't even know that he could make such a good pie, sweet potatoes to be exact. And I was like, I think your pie could be sold. And he said he instantly shot it down. He was like, no, first of all, I ain't a baker, I don't do that. And I was like, do you think it's not masculine to bake? It's okay, it's all right. And so he was like, you serious? And I said, I'm very serious. And he said, well, we can't do it with store-bought crust. And I said, well, if I have to figure it out, then we'll figure it out. So as a team, we got in the kitchen, and it was kind of like music. It was so natural, organic. He was making up his batter. I went and figured out a few ingredients to bring together yours truly graham cracker crust. And we made our first batch. We made about, I think, 200 pies. And we had got in business quickly with the company downtown. I'm not gonna say name because the situation did not work out. And at first, so we went to them, 200 pies, quickly overdone, sold. That happened. I was like, okay, I think we could do this again. We did part ways with that company, and after we did that, kind of got discouraged a little bit, like, now that we parted ways, that was a lot of customers versus now we got to do it on our own. Believe it or not, it still went over well. We just started giving pies to all our family and friends. Everybody was buying one or trying them out, because we also gave some out for everyone to try. Originally, we were just working with the traditional sweet potato. Everybody knows the orange sweet potato. And that was going fine. And then I started researching, because I'm like, there's not just one sweet potato. Kind of find out there are actually 400 plus different sweet potatoes. We coined the recipe with 5 of the flavors. So we make traditional, white, red, purple, and Japanese sweet potato pie. When we popped out with all those flavors, that changed the game. Just in the last 2 years, we added cheesecake, which didn't know I could make cheesecake. I just tried it, and it went over really well. Paired all those 5 flavors with the cheesecake, so now we have sweet potato cheesecake. And I'm an artist, so that's the other thing that you don't know about me, is that I slightly can draw and paint a little. So each time that I do a pie or cheesecake, I marble it as my own artistic print on your cheesecake. So no cheesecake will ever be the same.
I like it.
And 4 years later, 10,000 pies and over 700 cheesecakes to date.
Wow. So if someone is listening to this, watching this, and they want to taste some of your family's desserts,
yes,
how can they do that? Where can they find you?
Okay, so LK's Sweet Craze is what we shorten our name to. Originally, it was LK's Sweet Potato Craze, but now we've got away from sweet potato. We've been doing other things like strawberry cheesecake, red velvet cheesecake, and macadamia nut crust as an option for the cheesecake as well. So I was like, well, we probably shouldn't stay sweet potato. So now our name is LK Sweet Craze. So you can find me on social media as LK Sweet Potato Craze. You can also find me on Instagram as a Remedi, and you can contact me through there. And I have a website. It's called Get LK Sweet Potato Craze. So get is like come get it. Like you need to get it. You gotta have it. Thank you.
Oh man, it's when are y'all gonna get to the chocolate cake?
Well, I'm working on. I'm working on it. I got a couple of things up my sleeve. Actually, I have 27 recipes to add to this year's menu, like that can be ordered. Also, so we started the pie business first, and then right behind that, it kind of slowed down. So me being me, I'm like, okay, gotta move to the next thing. And that's when the cleaning business came. My husband was playing a game, and it was some Primal Fear was the game he was playing. And I was like, I like Primal. I was like, Primal seems like the first source. And so I was like, hey, our last name starts with a K. K Primal Janitorial. And so that's how that came about. Went ahead and started the process of that, and successfully we cleaned several clothing stores, a grocery store, and a wedding venue here in Cincinnati. And soon to expand. We do residential and commercial and exterminating. So if anybody needs us, do call.
And how do they contact you if they need you?
Same. You can contact me through Facebook, email, phone number, my business line. All of that information will be available after the interview.
Okay. Hey, that sounds great. So this is the part of the show where I'm going to ask Miss Remedi a couple of miscellaneous questions. Okay. So the first question I want to ask is, if you were to win $1 million today, what would be the first thing you would do?
Wow. So, to be honest, nobody's ever heard me talk about this. I have a nonprofit organization idea, 2 of them actually. One is, like I said, dealing with being bullied myself, and also just knowing that even though we have group homes, we have Lighthouse, we have Boys and Girls Club, we have the YMCA, even though we have all those things and it seems like, oh, that's great, the kids can go to them, I just still didn't see myself in any of those places. Like, yes, there are little black kids that go. My thing is what about the traumatic kids? Like, what about the ones who have been through stuff, or even though we want to be regular, we want to be in a setting where we're safe, but it's still places where we're not. Like, even like I said, being a new girl to a lot of places. So me and my brother were sitting down brainstorming, shoot, probably about 12 years ago. Yep, it was 2010. It's 2022, Jesus. And we came up with a coin of tent. So the tent is what you set up when you go camping and you want to be sheltered away from bugs and animals. So we kind of had a vision like, how could we think of where we want to gather all these people and bring them to the tent? We always like breaking down our words, like what does it mean? So tent, and not spelling tent the traditional way, T-E-N-T. We thought of T-I-I-N-T.
Okay.
And that is taking initiative into neighborhood troubles.
Okay.
I will repeat. Taking initiative into neighborhood troubles. So it's a tent, and everybody can come to this tent. No matter what nationality, what you speak, what you've been through, whatever your story is, you can come to this place, and it wouldn't be your traditional, like I said, Boys and Girls Club or YMCA. Yes, you're gonna still get fitness and nutrition; those things are important, and also sports, but also trauma, like trauma recess, like a way to bring you out of it, whether that is writing it out, like myself and many other people, whether it's screaming it out, whether it is one of those rooms where they could break things, because that's their coping mechanism. They can break things. A room where, because some, they want to put it to music. Right. So it would be a studio in there. So I just had all these different things that I wanted to bring under the tent.
Okay.
Because again, we're taking initiative into neighborhood struggle.
And so basically,
that would be the first thing that I would do with my $1 million. Okay. Is make sure that we have tents in every. We can start here in Cincinnati because it's home, but then to work that out so that there is a tent in each city and state going forward. The other one was to start a girls sorority. So now I'm catering to the female base of it and bringing up the young princesses and queens, and just letting them know, like, hey, no matter what your trauma looks like, you can still be a beautiful woman. Like, a lot of us think that we're ugly, or we're less desired, or we are underdeserved. Like, I'm gonna be honest, in my relationship, almost 9 years, we celebrated yesterday. There's been many times in my relationship I felt like I didn't deserve things that he did for me, or that he just did, period, just because I'm used to it turning around, or I'm used to the change. Like, it would be all good and then look for the bad, because the bad's coming, you know? And so I just never felt like I deserved anything. I could always give, I could always give the best advice, I could always be a friend to everyone, I could do everything, but I could not receive that same energy back to me. Excuse me. So in not receiving that energy back to me, I felt like start this all-girl sorority and make it where there's no age, so it can go from young girls all the way to older women that could be a part of it. And again, that's another nonprofit, because everything that we can do for a profit, also we can do not for profit, just to let people know that there is somebody who cares. Because There's been so many times I feel like nobody cared. I do care. So I have to show my girls and my people at the tent that there is someone who does care, and even employing everyone who has a story.
Yeah, I love it. The next question that I would like to ask.
That's a lengthy answer, sorry.
If you could pick one place, just one place in the world that you would travel to, where finances isn't an issue, but you could just pick this one place that you wanted to travel to for a family vacation, where would it be?
Seychelles, Africa.
Why there?
It is the most beautiful island off the coast of Africa. Not that many people live there, so I like a less traffic beach. The water is so clear. It's so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, when we leave here, you gotta look at the pictures. Oh my gosh. Seychelles, Africa. That is a place I would love to visit and go to.
All right. Well, I have definitely enjoyed having you on this platform. It's been really great. I would like to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Yes.
Definitely want to wish all the mothers out there
yes, happy Mother's Day, everyone. That part ain't easy either. We get one day when we do it every day, but that's okay. It's all right. But thank you.
Yes. Be on the lookout for more exclusive content. Before we get out of here, just let everybody know one more time, where can they find you on social? Oh, before you say where you'll be on social media, where's the next place that people will see you?
Well, you kind of just got to catch me. I am moving around. Kind of every event this year I have tried to be at, even if it was for 5 minutes, just a part of. So any open mics, I'm normally there between Monday through Friday or Saturdays. So just look up where the next open mic is. I might be here. Like I said, my name is Remedi. On Facebook, it's Teesa Remedi. On Instagram, it's A Remedi, as in A Remedi. And like I said, my website for the pies and cheesecake is getlksweetpotatocraze.com. And same on the email. If you want to email me, it is C Remedi, so SEA, and Remedi with the I instead of a Y. And if you actually need to have my personal number, or you want to talk to me in depth about my book or my experience or anything, definitely DM me and we can talk.
Hey, sound good. This Saturday coming up, May 14th, Doo-Wop Cincinnati Poetry Slam.
I might be there.
Yeah, hope to see everyone there for that. This has been the Mic Drop with B. Anderson, and we out.
We are out. Mic drop.
If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and comment on it, and subscribe to my channel for more exclusive content like this.